This is one of those videos where at least I have my tie's not flopping around, and got the sugar on the counter. That's something to start. Everything is sugar, so I'm gonna throw I did not even take it out, but the point of this video is not so much like, yeah, okay, I can, yeah, but the point is that, oh yes, I have to be careful and not knock that over. I mean, here's the egg, 2 eggs. These are large eggs. There it is, the butter. That's what I was looking for. The butter wasn't even on the counter. So, I understand that there's a lot of people in the world and that they help us, influence us to grow up. However, it's not all about groups, and you do learn some stuff about psychology alone. The stages were initially developed within the context of groups. Well, actually, they were originally for psychoanalysis, and it was in the context of like being a child, and then you mystically grow up and maintain some of those same qualities as you in one's childhood. But then the same thing happens during your entire life. It's constant. You're constantly developing. Psychology. Is that 7 sec? Okay, I guess the microwave is running low today. Well, there goes that. And man, it's just okay, but at least the butter's good. It's like, what broke there? You don't want to know. Okay, so this is what happens. See, you're going through your day, and now I really have to be careful and grab a broom to at least get some of the broken glass out of the way. Well, this is going to be some good cookies, right? Okay. Well, I don't know what to say now. This is what. Okay, so anyway, you're alone, but you have a group of people, and they're helping you to develop, and that's when the whole stages were developed within the context of groups. I don't even have a big spoon to. This is not the big spoon. This is a moderate-sized spoon. Oh my goodness. So it's probably really dull to watch this, but whatever. But the truth is that I'm really frustrated now. I can't even believe this mess. But hey, I'm gonna at least, because this thing is cool, huh? Oof, I told you I had to be careful with that. So, right. So you're alone, right? And should I just turn 3 minutes of this garbage? I can usually make, when I'm not doing like a stupid show, I can make this stuff in like 3 minutes. I can make cookies, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's in the oven, and I get to have cookies later. Okay, so what's the psychology here of trust, and like you're learning to acquire something? It just comes to your mind, and why do you trust it? What do you mean? It's not even, there's no question here. Like, look at this. Nobody can, you have to have a giant machine in order to have orange juice every morning, and I don't really know what is the point. To show that your psychology develops when you're alone, and that trust is but you're learning trust, and that's done through rules. This is literally the worst video ever. I can't believe how frustrated I am. So I learned a rule, right? And I guess we have a good example. I learned that breaking glass is not a good idea, because then nobody likes you, including yourself, and you can see that now you're actually making it. And this was really one of those days. I didn't even make a pie chart for this. Okay. But yeah, that's something one learns. I don't know why you have to. Oh, I do know why. Salmonella. That's why you have to wash your hands every time that you touch an egg, even though it's washed. But okay, so conscience comes from when somebody is finally able to walk around, right? They are alone, and they come to the decision that maybe they're with other people, but they decide that there's some morality involved here. And it isn't just about like good and bad, it also has to do with what else do you learn from a group? Besides the science of like, oh, this is how you make orange juice, you're also getting some, oh my gosh, the butter. I could have done it a little longer in the microwave, or I could have left it on the counter last night. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could have done better, but I don't have for ceramics, I don't have a thingy, screw the picture. Okay, so that's part of psychology, right? Is you're like, well, I all of a sudden have this, and this is pretty cool, but couldn't you also? It's not about comparing, right? It's about the perception. So why did he not do? I made a cool animation for. Did he do it? And I just didn't. No, he was supposed to like spin in and everything. Oh. Okay, yeah. Now we're happening. And usually a role is not so much it's like anything. It isn't just cooking. It's really there's a lot of different kinds of roles. And it has to do with the task. In the case of orange juice, I guess your task is, now I'm gonna relax. I don't. Okay, there's a little. I don't even care. I don't want to have to deal with the garbage on the counter anymore. Okay, so the one good thing is that I had put in some thought to this, and I said I am gonna get the coconut in addition to. Do we have dried cherries? Yes, we do. Dried cherries, and sure enough, there's like half a bag of white chocolate chips. But I gotta mix this up slightly first. Once that. So, what's the point of tasks? And you recognize that you cannot do it alone, and so you need some help. And so that's why you get some help, not just from. I mean, this is all about yourself, right? That's what psychology is. I recognize that I have this. Turn on the oven. Tendency to only think about like groups and everything. And I mean, I'm almost done with these cookies, don't worry. Yeah, the oven will be full of cookies soon. Cooking up cookies. Spinning around this. Remember, don't overmix. This is a good reminder to myself. But it isn't just about like tasks and all that. What you have to recognize is that this time of development is about recognizing that you can't do it alone. And I mean, we have a material existence for a reason. You can't just like float around and not ever have any interactions with orange juice. Or can you? See, the Disneyland, did you know that they're doing this? How did Disneyland create the world on CNN special? And what they did was, in order to create the Disney, they had to tear down all the orange orchards. Now this is kind of fun. I actually thought of having orange juice as a topic before thinking of Disneyland construction, and I'm sure that they have plenty of it there. But Disneyland is kind of a very special example. It doesn't really have to do with like you're alone and all of a sudden you think to yourself, but I don't mean, it's not all about being alone. Like you're never really alone. So you have all these ideas and everything, and you really need. I mean, you have like all kinds of cool, whatever. Who am I talking to here? Talking to me. But yeah, at first, identity in psychology is always within a group. You lose yourself in the group. That's where your identity comes from. So for example, we don't need an example, but for example, I am thinking about how I don't even want orange juice. I really just want some coffee. I would rather do anything in the world than be doing this right now. Look at, I don't know, look at this. Look at all the cool things that are possible. So beyond identity, I mean, you can, I don't even know. So identity is when you're like, what? Oh, right. So you aren't like born with identity. Although we all have the basics, like perception and all that. You know, we can all. Oh, this is the Buddhist thing where you're like, you can see with an eye, and then you have vision or visual. Then you are seeing. That's perception, and yeah, that happens whether or not you learn it or not. But that's that. So what's the conclusion? See, that's the tough part, because that's where you're like, oh, what's the point of doing this? The point of making identity, or of generativity, and because that's really what this stage is about when you're in your 30s. Because teens and 20s, you're just like in a structure, and hey, this is really good. I like this. This is who I am, and all that, and wow, cool, good, go for me. And then in your 30s, it's more like, that was not really doing it for me. I want to go to Disneyland. I want to work over, or not just in the workplace. It's also marriage, education, that is dishes, and then in year 45, every 15 years there's another cycle. 45, you're like, that wasn't really doing it for me the last 10 years. And at the same time, you're looking forward to the next 10. And you're saying to yourself, oh, then I'm 60, AARP. And so that's like, I'm not going to do that again kind of thing. I really didn't think I was going to do it in the first place. I mean, I wouldn't have, obviously I wouldn't have done that if I had known. Enough is enough. You have to know when to hold it. Okay, there's no secrets here, but here's the oven. It's going. That's something good. I walk over here. I check out where this is where it was set up. This is the disaster zone. Be careful. And then you gotta do the dishes, because this is like what I'm good at. I mean, you can talk all day about, oh yeah, look at me, I did it again. I made orange juice. And how did I do it? Oh, it was very simple. I poured it into, I put the orange into the cup, and then it was all very nice, and it was in the fridge. But if you really think about it for a minute, you're like, what really went into my thinking process? Well, first of all, I was like, okay, I could just throw it into this pile of dry dishes right now, or I could put the dry dishes away. I didn't even think about doing that. I did think about doing the dishes, and now they are done. And if I had turned the water up a little bit higher, I wouldn't have been able to talk. And but if I had, you can see that there's a full, let's dry my hands, there's a full sink of dry, well now it's wet again, dishes, and there's the coconut, and look, there, wait, can you see me? But I have to do other stuff.
Psych
This
101 cooking
videoing,
show.
sort of, here's the one of them, and
I'll need an explanation. I need clarification on that. What is
It speaks for itself.
I don't get it.
this is,
He
yeah, Psych
translates
101. This,
Psych 101
That's what
cooking
it's
show.
called?
Wait a
yeah.
minute.
Are they they're pretty good though?
Take a picture with this here.
Oh,
Oh,
there you
no,
go.
I don't need that.
I
It's
like it.
some
No,
I
sign.
like it.
We don't want
First
people to.
copy.
What does that even
That's
say?
my suggestion.
Well,
What's it-
whatever.
Oh, it says
No,
first.
put it back, put it back.
Yeah.
But
Like
first,
coffee.
coffee.
That would make coffee cake, right?
Yeah, that's
Is
a
there
good
coffee,
one.
coffee fields in Cameroon? I'm curious.
Not that I know of.